People who ask for a pencil every single day in school. How is life going for you? I'd love to give you the long version, but my phone's about to die. Can I borrow your charger? Mine's at 4%, I need it more. But mine's at 86%. I need to keep it above 90%. My previous phone started dying at 30% and would need charging, then that number climbed over time until it died at 90%, at which point I relented and bought my current phone, which now has a cracked screen, plus, frayed charging cable that keeps warning of a bad connection. Usually squeeze the most use out of things, especially when expensive. So, my best friend did this. We are both adults with jobs now. I asked him the other day if he remembers a pen, and he said his co-workers had gotten together to give him a humongous pen stand stuffed with pens to stop him from asking. I had a friend in high school that could never remember or keep a lighter. For Christmas one year we got her dozens of lighters. A cigar box cartoonishly overflowing with them. She ran out in early March or so. I am now imagining her leaving a trail of absent-mindedly discarded lighters in her wake. One at work, one at the cashiers in the grocery, one in the Uber, one at the restaurant. I'm like this with sunglasses, but it works out okay. I own tons, and I remember where the nearest pair is when I need them, so at my friend's house I'll reach under their couch and have a pair, or get them out of the glove box in their car. Or take a pair out of a toolbox, or dive down and grab a pair at the pool. Easy life. Oof. This would annoy me to no end, having a friend leave their stuff everywhere. I'm glad you have friends that are cool with it. Maybe they just lose/hide them so well their friends never realize they're everywhere. Like a squirrel stashing nuts but with sunglasses. I put a Ziploc full of candy at the back of my friend's silverware drawer, behind the tray. It was there 6 months later when I retrieved it. Mostly I did it for the joke, but the candy was still good too. I became a nurse. Now I ask for pens instead of pencils, and other nurses hunt me down if I take their pen. Don't nurses get issued a pen necklace of some kind? Like librarians and glasses chains? We get free pens, mostly from drug reps. My 2 favorite pens had an ad for a funeral home and an erectile dysfunction med. Nobody stole them. 2 pens, 1 AD each. Nobody needs to advertise for death erections. Although a good embalmer could make people very jealous of your widow. Edit, I'm having fun reading all these replies. I hope the awards are freebies. Thanks. Nurses are effing weird. I agree. Proudly. I work in a hospital and started only carrying pens I stole from my friend who is an attorney. No doc or nurse will be caught dead with a pen from a lawyer, so now no one steals my pens. I used to be a medical secretary in an office full of medical secretaries. The doctors we supported would be in and out all day. My desk was the closest to the file cabinets on top of which they'd sign things they needed to sign or whatever. I was going through a couple boxes of pens a week, keeping my pen cup stocked, because if I didn't, I would never have a pen. One day, a drug rep left really nice refillable pens in gift boxes on each of the secretaries' desks. I loved that pen. It had a nice weight, fit my hand perfectly, wrote smoothly, not too thick, not too scratchy, perfect. I put it in my desk drawer when I went to lunch so nobody would take it. When I got back, I saw that my pen cup was empty, and with a sinking sensation, I opened my desk drawer and of course, my pen was gone. That night I went to the store and bought my own pens to put in my pen cup, and they were effing purple. Never lost another one. I only had it for a few brief hours, but 20 years later, I still miss my Remicade pen. Now they're asking for phone chargers. As a teacher, those kids always have a charger they try to plug in as soon as they get to class. Pen? Pencil? Paper? F that. But they better charge their phone so they can try to watch Netflix in class. As a teacher, how do schools/teachers deal with phones? I imagine as a teacher they'd be incredibly annoying distractions. I would have guessed they'd be totally banned from the classroom. I know when I was in high school, back when phones were just starting to get all the fancy stuff, back on 2004 to 2008, we weren't allowed to actively use them during class. The teacher had all the right to take our phones from us until the end of class, and that was accepted. Not sure how it is now n days. T9 one-handed text gang until the full keyboard sliders came along. Mouth. I miss those days I could text anything without looking. Now I'm stuck with the effing swipe. You can still swipe one-handed without looking. It's just riskier, smiley face. Depends on the school, but most have given up. My school hasn't. No phones out in class. If caught, it's confiscated and sent to the office for the day. If kid refuses, they get 1 day in school suspension. Principal isn't effing around and the kids know it. Makes it so easy to just teach and not have to babysit. If I catch you with your phone out, so help me God, I will restore default factory settings. With a big effing hammer. Sadly, they won't let me. Just gets me parents who ring their kids on the effing thing while they're in class. Talk about a losing battle. I don't want to live on this planet anymore. Don't worry, future quote, not suicidal. Wow, parents will actually call their kids while class is in session? You'd better be paying attention in class. Love, Mom. My mother called me during class once. She was expecting it to go to voicemail, but my teacher made me pull it from my backpack to answer. It starts ringing. I say sorry about that, I thought it was off or on silent. He says, who's calling you? I mutter, I dunno, as I fumble through my bag fishing it out. Oh. It's my mom? I say in a statement that sounds like a question. He nods for me to answer it, and she was so bewildered by me answering during school hours she forgot what she even called about. This was sophomore year of high school in 2008-09. My mom texts me while I'm in class to tell me how badly I'm doing in class. As a student, yes, my mom likes to call me, but she also sometimes texts me. Luckily my dad just texts, but either way it's annoying. Why are they calling? Have they had industrial accidents, or are they afraid someone abducted you? I know some kids who would get in trouble by their parents if they don't answer their phone, even in class. I wonder if any of yours in class are like that. My girlfriend is a teacher here in Germany, and kids are not allowed to have phones in school at all. Yes, not even in the break time. Teacher here, can definitely confirm this. Slow clap. Oh, this drives me nuts. My kids' friends will walk into the house and unplug my phone to start charging theirs. Also, my kids will straight up unplug my charger and take it to their room. I raided my daughter's room about a month ago and came back downstairs with 5 lightning chargers. In the meantime, my wife is trying to wiggle her raggedy old off-brand cord to find the little sweet spot where it will work. Don't let other people's kids unplug your phone. You're the parent of the house. They need to learn boundaries, otherwise they'll think this sort of self-serving behavior is okay in adulthood. Yeah, that is straight up not cool. And go into schools with a room of 30 others who think the same way. Then parents wonder why their kid isn't getting the grades they feel they should be. 100%, this. Not correcting this kind of crap early and often with kids is exactly how you end up with narcissistic abusive adults. Source: have been in a few relationships with these types and observed how they and their siblings interacted with their parents. This is why I'm so glad I have Android and the wife and kids have iPhones. My USB-C cable has been plugged into my computer untouched for 2+ years. Also, I'm on the same cable and they've all been through like 10 this year each. I don't know why lightnings always break. Do they just yank the cables out instead of removing by holding the plug housing? No idea, but every time I hear I need a new charger I die a little bit more. Wireless chargers so they can't use the phone while charging is my new plan to get the kids from breaking chargers and doing something else. So back in grade 3, by the middle of the year, every classmate in my class of around 28 of us was asking for a pencil every other day or 3 because they would randomly go missing. Fast forward a bit and our teacher was making us do the bi-monthly desk cleaning. As we empty out our desks of books and forgotten assignments, a nearby classmate sets their pencil case on top of their desk with a large thud. Some of us look and gaze upon a pencil case like no other. Now, this pencil case was your standard 6x10-inch rectangle, but it was packed so full of pencils that it was a solid cylinder. We started making a scene and the teacher came over to see what was amiss. What followed was the emptying of the pencil case, in which the whole class rediscovered their pencils from the past few months. Effin' Michael, hoarding everyone's pencils. I knew a guy in high school that would say, "Oh, there's my pencil," anytime he'd see a pencil that someone didn't actively have next to them. Then he'd put it in his pencil case and go on with his life. Very few people caught on because he was just so casual about it. I'd ask to borrow a pencil almost any time I saw him do it, and he'd just as casually take one out, hand it to me and say, "Don't forget to give it back." I never did. We both knew what the other was up to, but we found it funny to play along. We became best friends and cycled across Canada for charity together a few years ago. Have either of you ever mentioned it since then? It's been several years since high school, so I'd mostly forgotten about it until this post. We actually have a couple random things we do. One day, grade 12, we were walking from the school to his house, and in a park we saw a broken telescope. I naturally picked it up and brought it back to his house where I left it. A week later, it shows up on my doorstep with an envelope. He used some really fancy / old-timey language that basically said, "Please accept this humble gift." So we started exchanging it back and forth every so often, leaving a note. We even agreed in our letters never to talk about the telescope in front of each other. We also use pen names for it. One day he actually gave it to me all wrapped up for a celebration for me and said, "Please give this to pen name." Everyone else was very confused and asked what was in it, but neither of us broke. It's been a while since we'd exchanged it. The problem is that because we leave it at the front door, it can be hours before it's discovered, so there's the worry that there might be thieves or something. It could just be that my friend is playing the long game. Since there's no way to ask, I just have to assume that he still got it and is biding his time. Y'all are effing weird and I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. You're odd. You're quaint and quirky too. You're swell as well as strange. You're really oh so clearly you. You're odd, but never change. You could totally ask him. All you would have to do is practice calligraphy for a month and then write out on fancy paper, "My good sir pen name, I apologize for the gap in correspondence. This affliction has thrown my life much askew, as I am sure you have experienced as well. I know this is quite forward of me, but I was wondering if I could impose on you for a favor. I was hoping to view the heavenly conjunctions and was wondering if I could borrow the ocular artifice for that occasion, if it would not be too much trouble. I know how dear it is to you, indeed, to us both, and will treat it with customary care and reverence. If this is agreeable to you, please deliver the device to the customary location. With greatest respect, pen name." That's actually a really good idea. If he doesn't deliver it to me this time before I leave town, I may just do that. I'm invested. Subscribe? This is amazing, smiley face. Since you gave me gold, I'll share another thing we do. A few years back, I was working doing shipping for an engraving company. I came across a name I really liked. I don't want to share it here, but it was 2 words, both started with M and were 3 syllables. The name just flowed so beautifully that I told my friend about it. A bit later, I came across the town Bella Bella, which is an island in BC. One thing led to another and we decided to write poems about it. We had our old high school English teacher, a former art professor, and my friend's sister who was working on her list at the time judge our poems. I ended up having a shot glass engraved with Bella Bella Best, and the loser bought the winner a shot. By that I mean, I bought my friend a drink. We're going into our 3rd year of this poetry competition. Last year was Zenobia. He won again. Still trying to figure out what now to write our poems about this year. We're going to have to do it virtually this year, unfortunately. Also, to be clear, we don't write about the actual person/place, we just take the name and write about whatever we think of. We purposefully choose stuff we have no connection to. This friendship is awesome. Hope you're both doing well during all this craziness. We are. Before we cycled across Canada together, he wasn't in a good place. He went to a prestigious university for mathematics and just really did not like it, so he dropped out in his 1st year. He was really down on himself, and so our cycling trip really helped him. Neither of us had much cycling experience. He hadn't been on a bike since he was 8, but we were dedicated. He lost probably around 30 pounds and gained a lot of self-confidence. These days he works for a law firm, from home right now. I'm attending university to be a teacher after several years puttering around the world. During quarantine he met his now boyfriend, which is now his 1st relationship I actually approve of for him. Previous guys were just not right for him. I really like reading small stories like this. This one really warms my heart and kept me interested. I'm happy y'all are doing well, and I hope it stays that way for the both of you. May the telescope be delivered back to you soon. Your stories have seriously brightened my week. Thank you for typing all that out. I've really enjoyed reading your stories. They've made me smile during this tough year. You're going to be a good teacher, I can tell. Thanks, I really appreciate that. One thing led to another, yeah. And we decided to write poems about it. Oh. That escalated rapidly at the end. Good story, would read again. Effing Michael. Jan Levinson agrees. No Gould? Is Gould dead? Good luck paying for new pencils with your $0 a year salary plus benefits, babe. You took me by the hand. Made me a man. That one night. One night. For a moment I thought it was the monkey that lived in the vent of the school. You mean Annie's boobs? Annie's boobs stole pens, not pencils. He's not a degenerate. There is always that one guy. One of my friend brought dildo to the class and hid it under the desk of a girl. Our teacher used to inspect the desk every day and she was caught. Man, she cried so loud. Luckily there was a CCTV camera which proved her innocent. Effin' Jamie, stealing sister's dildo and bringing it to class. Are you sure it was his sister's, and not his own? A man does not easily part with their own dildo. As a man I can confirm. Wait. A fool and her dildo are soon parted. Michael is now the owner of the largest pencil distribution company in the world. I loved drawing and had one of those things with all kinds of pencils. It never turned into a cylinder, but I'd rent out pencils for 50 cents so I could get Shock Tarts or cookies during a bathroom break. I would barter with the Shock Tarts to get other stuff, turning 2 quarters into a bag of quarter-shaped things. Kids would give me $1 for half a bag of Shock Tarts. I let my money make money for me. This moment of reflection may be the most I've ever understood that saying. Seems like a totally different life. My cargo pocket was always jingling with all my quarters. I would have put money on my younger self to be successful. Damn. I just realized that I wish I was more like my 5th grade self, and this is pretty sad. Where did everything go wrong? Where are my quarters? Ha ha. Every day I'm hustling. You just got on a different track. Get back on the entrepreneur track and start making money again. My youngest brother basically had a black market snack store in his high school locker and did the same thing. Our mom thought it was so funny she would help him buy new stuff to sell the next day. Thank you for watching. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube. And share them with your friends. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. We welcome your comments below. Another of our videos will begin shortly.